Who we are. So we tell them. We are Black Power. Mighty Black Power. Mighty Black Power.
Fighting for justice.
Fighting for justice.
And reparations.
And reparations.
Everywhere we go.
Everywhere we go. People want to know
Who we are. So we tell them.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us today. My name is Natasha Brown. I am the Senior Communications Coordinator for the Black Power Network. As we begin, I would like to acknowledge the land that we stand on. We are on the ancestral and unceded land of the Nisenan and Miwok people. These people are still here and always have been here. This land was and continues to be of great importance to them.
Yes.
Today is a historic day in Sacramento. We are gathered here today as Black community leaders and organizers who are part of a vibrant ecosystem of grassroots, Black-led organizations throughout the state. We come from 5 different networks, including the California Black Power Network, Live Free California, Black Equity Collective, Black Equity Initiative of the Inland Empire, and the California Black Freedom Fund. 5 networks acting together to address systemic racism and anti-Black racism. We have come to the Capitol to uplift our collective policy priorities that will directly and positively impact Black communities in the following ways. Budget and revenue to invest in Black futures,
Yes.
repairing past harms, and ending ongoing harms
Yes.
through reparations policy, police accountability, voting access, and housing. The Black experience in California is unique and multifaceted. However, an unfortunate common thread is the systemic implemented struggles our communities face. We consistently see Black communities being the most impacted across various issue areas. From San Diego to LA, the Bay Area to the Central Valley, or right here in Sacramento, we see Black folks in the struggle. A common struggle that forces us to build a unique resilience just to survive in the Golden State. Today, we empower Black voices.
Yes.
We empower Black voices to directly engage with lawmakers, influencing the creation and implementation of policies that affect their lives. We want to ensure community members' voices and concerns are taken into account, that their needs are addressed in legislation and public initiatives. I ask you today, what would it look like to directly address disparities and provide relief to the Black struggle in California?
Yeah.
What would it look like? What would it feel like for California to be a place where Black communities can thrive and not just survive? We must acknowledge that in order for real change to happen, advocacy for Black communities is not a singular responsibility. It is a collective endeavor that requires collaboration, allyship, and a true commitment to dismantling the structures of anti-Black racism. Let us work together to forge a future where justice, equity, and opportunity is truly accessible for all. As we do the work for Black liberation for all Black people, let us also center and be guided by Black resilience, Black power, and most importantly, Black joy. I will now welcome my colleague, Kevin Cosney, to the podium. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kevin Cosney. I'm the Associate Director and co-founder of the California Black Power Network. It's good to be here with you. Thank you all for joining us today. Before I get started, I want to take a moment to recognize and honor our ancestors. Ancestors whose shoulders we stand on, whose blood, sweat, and tears fertilize the earth that sustain us today, our ancestors who languished in the brutal exploitation of slavery and then Jim Crow, and our family members and loved ones who languish today in the brutal exploitation of 13th Amendment slavery. Our loved ones today who bear the burden of generational trauma. And all black people in California and the country today who continue to face systemic discrimination in all facets of life, from the courts to the banks to the classrooms. I want to recognize and honor all of us here today. For in us here, those closest to the pain lies the solutions. As I mentioned, I'm here with California Black Power Network. We're a network of over 37 Black-led organizations, grassroots organizations, representing over 10 counties across the state. And our partners across the state focus on an array of issues from housing, health, education, women's health and reproductive justice, safety and justice. And I mean real safety and justice. Not the law and order, kick in your door, kick in your head, cage you, kill you justice, but real healing, transformative justice. We've come here together today to develop a political agenda and a power-building strategy to truly improve the lives of Black Californians. And we know that we can't do it alone, so we are here today arm in arm, shoulder to shoulder, with 5 other networks of Black-led organizations, and we've come to the Capitol with over 140 leaders from across the state who are representing hundreds of organizations and hundreds of thousands of Black Californians. We're here today to let our elected officials know, and our people around the state and our people around the country know that we as Black people are united, and we are stronger because of it. We are driven by vision, strategy, and an unwavering love for our people. And we are persistent, we are dedicated, and we believe that we will win. In fact, we know that we will win. We're here today because Black folks are not just votes to be counted every 2 years during election cycles. We are here, and we are here to stay. We're engaged, we are watching, and we are ready and willing to work with any lawmaker truly dedicated to the mission and vision of justice, equity, opportunity, and freedom. And we will be holding folk to account. We're here today to claim our right to repair, our right to rehabilitation, our right to restitution and compensation, and our right to end the violent, inhumane, and systemic oppression and exploitation that our people have faced, not only during chattel slavery, but in every generation that has followed up to present day. While the California Task Force on Reparations has just wrapped up its work, the real fight on reparations starts today. We're not here just for a little bit of reparations for some of us. We're out for everything that is owed to all of us. I know some people are worried about how they'll pay for it and make it all work. There's policy solutions and there is compensation. I think this state and this country has been very creative in how it's captured, kidnapped, and enslaved our people. It's been creative in how they've caged and policed our people. They've been creative in how they've taken our history out of history books. They've been creative in how they can fund our oppression and our removal from pretty much any social good that we have. So we know that they can be creative and find a solution to repair the harms of centuries of harm. Not only are we here to heal past harms, but we're here to continue to defend our people against harms that we face right here and right now. Against those who seek to harass, brutalize, extort, and even murder us in cold blood in the guise of protecting and serving. We're here demanding and asserting our right to live, our right to vote, our right to be housed. We are here to reject the second-class citizenship that most of us have been relegated to, and are here to reclaim our right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Lastly, we are here to demand an investment in our futures. The history of this state and this nation is largely built on the endless contributions, many of which were forced, of generations of Black folk. For centuries, we've helped this country and this state build and flourish. It's only right that we are reciprocated as we work to heal and rebuild from centuries of oppression and suppression. It is our duty to fight, it is our duty to win, and we will not stop until we've won. That said, I'd like to pass to my comrade, my friend, and my brother, Tim Cornegie, with Live Free California, to talk a little bit more about what we're doing here today. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tim Cornegie, and I am the director of Live Free California Coalition. Live Free California Coalition is 20 Black-led organizations across the state of California, from San Diego to Sacramento, all working on diverse levels of change. Gun violence reduction, policy change, housing, voting work, you name it, these organizations are hard at work getting it done. What you see behind me is black power. You see the diversity in what black people are. Black people are not a monolith, they are everything. They are every color, they are every energy, and we plan on taking all of that and directing that towards change. And that's what brings us here today, to demonstrate the power that's inherent in having coalitions. We are here with California Black Power Network, with the California Black Freedom Fund, with the Black Equity Collective, with the Black Equity Initiative. So I heard somebody said this morning, we black and some more black. And we serious about making change. So I am. Y'all ready? As we gather here today, we must recognize that the fight for reparations, racial, social, and economic justice is multifaceted, requiring a comprehensive approach that addresses a range of issues. With the institutional amplification of black voices, Lobby Day highlights the power of our organizations, our congregations, and our institutions driving change. This includes investing in black futures through budget and revenue measures, repairing past harms through reparations, ensuring voter access, and increasing police accountability. We should not have to walk around in fear thinking comply or die. Safety should not be a luxury for black people. It is something that we all deserve. We need to repair past harms. Through reparations is essential to address the ongoing impact of slavery and systemic oppression. And sometimes when we hear the phrase 400 years, it's kind of incomprehensible, but that is an enormous amount of time. And 275 of those years were spent in indentured slavery, free labor, no compensation. There is no wealth in this country unless our ancestors were kidnapped and brought over here for Africa. We're not asking them to do us a favor. We're demanding that they give us what we've earned. And now is the time. We are here to ensure voting access, to ensure that all black people have a voice in our democracy. It means fighting against voter suppression efforts and advocating for policies that expand access to voting, such as automatic voter registration and early voting. We want to increase police accountability. Let me say that again so we can all hear that. We want to increase police accountability, and everybody here knows why. It means supporting policies that hold law enforcement accountable for their actions, because they ain't being held accountable. It means increasing transparency and oversight, and investing in community-led public safety initiatives that prioritize de-escalation and harm reduction. As we move forward, we must take a comprehensive approach to address these issues, working together to create more just and equitable society for all black people. It will require a collective effort from institutions, from congregations, from businesses, from individuals. This cannot be done as a solo operation. We have to work together. Let me repeat that. We have to work together. This is what power looks like. If there is any doubt, the showing of the diversity in the groups right here. You got clergy. You got gang interventionists. You have police accountability organizations. You have abolitionists. You have LGBTQ folks. You have everything in the spectrum. We are going to move aside our differences. We are going to expand the containers that we call self and welcome individuals in their wholeness. You don't have to change to win. Whoever you're working with just has to grow to accept who you are. It's time for us to accept who we are and realize we cannot do this alone. And in closing, what I would share with you, and I don't need anybody to chant it because I have a very big mouth. I am. You are. We are. All we need. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. That's right. I am Samuel Casey, Executive Director of Congregations Organized for Prophetic Engagement and founding senior pastor of New Life Christian Church in the city of Fontana, California. I am also a representative and a benefactor of the Black Equity Collective, who helped us build and spur a fund known as the IE Black Equity Initiative that has recently raised $5.3 million to fund Black liberation and power building in the Inland Empire. We are also representatives of the California and founding members of the California Black Power Network, as well as a member and partner of Live Free California. We are here today to lift our voices and reclaim our bodies, to demand that you hear our voices through our votes and the ballots that we cast. We are also here to demand that you give us what's due us through bucks so that we can continue to fund our liberation. We're not here to invite you, but we're here to demand that you hear our collective voices, because we're speaking for hundreds of thousands, if not millions, in the state of California who are beyond sick and tired of the second-class leadership and treatment that we're receiving. This is a pivotal and a prophetic moment in the state of California's history as we stand up on the shoulders of our ancestors who have beckoned us here to this sacred site on this day. And we're standing like Dr. King, not only asking for freedom to ring from the Allegheny Mountains or the Curdaceous slopes of Stone Mountain, Georgia, but we're not going to leave until every demand of ours is fulfilled, not from those mountains, but from the Santa Monica Mountains to the San Bernardino Mountains, to Athens Park, to Ann Sherrill Park. And we're demanding today police accountability, equitable and parity in housing. You must and you will fix our educational system so that our children can realize their hopes and their dreams before they're destroyed by ill-prepared educators who don't see the value and the genius in our children. We're here today to demand that you respect our bodies, that you respect our ballot, and that you give us our bucks. Not only is it pivotal, but it's prophetic. Because whenever you put policy with prophecy, you get results. Micah 6:8 says, "What has the Lord required of you? That you do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with our God." And we demand today that you join us in doing justice, because we love mercy, and walk humbly with our God as you help us today reclaim, say it with me, reclaim our bodies, hear our votes through our ballots, and give us what's due us, $100 million, because it's our bucks. Amen and Ashe.
All right, Mark. Along with the Black Freedom Fund.
No freedom! No freedom! Good morning. My name is Mark Philpart, and I lead the California Black Freedom Fund.
Yes, sir.
I am your fund. Our team collectively is your foundation. We are fueling the movement for Black California, and we are proud to be here with all of you today. We have Black people from San Diego,
Yeah.
from Riverside,
Yeah.
from San Bernardino, from LA, from Long Beach, from Bakersfield, from Fresno, from Stockton, from Oaktown, San Jose, San Francisco, Richmond, Marin, and last but not least, Sacramento. Nearly 3 years ago, the Freedom Fund was established by leaders like Ben McBride, Anthony Thigpen, and Casey Patterson to be a transformative force in our movement ecosystem. The architects of the fund had a vision for an entity that would be one part philanthropic and one part movement infrastructure. What was clear during the racial reckoning in 2020 was that we needed a new institution to transform the relationship between philanthropy and the Black community. And we need to also transform the relationship that the public sector has to our community. You've heard all the reasons why. What we know about philanthropy is that traditional responses in times of crisis tend to be a wave of support. And once the news cycle turns away from our community, we know that those resources recede. Now we need sustained support in order to be able to advance the movement that you all are hearing about today. There is no way that anybody can operate an organization with episodic support. Our movement ecosystem needs continued long-term funding in order to be able to deliver on the promise that so many people have access to except Black people. We face what we call a giving gap. What does that mean? For people who don't understand, it is philanthropic segregation. What happens is white people who are doing the same thing in the same city get more money than us. Now, why is that? There is a history of systemic racism that our community and our state refuses to reckon with. Yet, when there is a crisis, we could take the pandemic, for example, all of a sudden, they need our organizations. They want us to outreach to our community. They want us to engage. Exactly. They want to use us. They want to exploit us. And what we are saying is no more. We are demanding every legislator and the governor and all constitutional officers to get behind our agenda. And our agenda is one of repair. Our agenda is one that is asking for, demanding a remedy that will infuse and ensure the permanence of our organizations. As a Black-led philanthropic institution, we're not only fueling the movement that you are all leading behind me, but we are committed to being in it with you. Gloria Walton has framed this radical praxis as solidarity philanthropy. And we operate from a place of unity, shared values, common interests, and mutuality. That's why I, along with my team, are here with you today. It's not enough for us to simply resource the movement. That's not solidarity, that's a transaction. Solidarity requires us to take risks and to hold a shared vision for change that extends beyond the well-being of our own personhood and institutions. Solidarity requires us to prioritize the transformation of our communities. So I ask all of you who are watching today, what are you doing? What are you doing for our cause? What are you doing to be in solidarity? It's not enough for you to push a hashtag or to put a poster in your window. We need your vote. We need you to march with us. We need you to put your bodies on the line. And we need you to leverage your own networks, your own relationships, your own resources. Because if we are to win, it will be because all of us have decided to prioritize this cause and this movement. You're here today because you're holding that shared vision and you believe in our collective capacity to deliver on a change that is greater than the sum of our individual parts. You're here because you believe in the innate power of everyday people and their capacity to be free. Free from the injustice of disenfranchisement, free from the injustice of incarceration, free from the injustice of being in-house, free from the injustice of being unemployed, free from the injustice of being in poor health, and free from the injustice of violence. You turned out to say, no more. You turned out to say, let's get it going. You turned out today to turn up and say no more to these injustices. When you go into that Capitol, it's your right to be there. But don't take it for granted. Because I know all of you, like me, you're here on behalf of people who could not be here. So many people who have been left behind, who don't have the privilege of being here and having these conversations. That's why the Freedom Fund is fighting for a $100 million investment into Black Power building organizations. Because so many organizations cannot be here. So many people cannot be here. So many ancestors have been left behind because there was not a sustained investment.
That's right.
So when you go inside that building, we want you to demand that lawmakers support the bills you're fighting for, because the issues those bills represent are going to change the lives of your neighbors, your cousins, your grandparents, your aunt and uncle, your parents, your kids, and so many others just like you. Now I'd like to introduce someone who is near and dear to me and someone who has been a champion for our community since day one. When I met this brother, he was leading a small nonprofit in Riverside, trying to grow it. Just came fresh off of leading a campaign for Assemblymember Cheryl Brown and was really eager to serve and be a part of the movement that would elevate the voices of people in his community and the people he was serving, the young people, so that they would have the opportunity to be here with us today, and so that they would have a better tomorrow. He's fighting for sustainability and championing the budget request for $100 million along with Senator Lola Smallwood Cuevas. He's fighting for police accountability and championing AB 742. And he's ensuring that Black people remain a priority by advancing ACA 7, which I'm hoping he will talk about, to reform the racist and anti-Black Prop 209. Assemblymember Corey Jackson was elected to the State Assembly in November of 2022 to represent the 60th Assembly District. He serves on the Riverside County Board of Education and represented portions of the cities of Riverside, Moreno Valley, Paris, and unincorporated community of Meade Valley. He also served as the founder and chief executive officer of Sigma Beta Xi Youth and Family Services, whose mission is to break the cycle of poverty and violence through mentoring, education, and community organizing. The organization was instrumental in the historic settlement of a lawsuit against unconstitutional youth accountability team program in Riverside County that treated thousands of youths, especially those of color, like criminals for minor adolescent misbehaviors, and the county agreed to groundbreaking measures. That was the County Office of Education taking money for young people who were unjustly put into probation. So please, give Dr. Jackson a hand.
Hey, it's good to be amongst my people today. To making sure that we understand that when we come and speak together, people will stop and listen. And the most important thing that we need to do is making sure that we're not only here for the sake of democracy, we're here for the sake of liberation, and we're here for the sake of self-determination.
That's right.
The ability to define ourselves, to name ourselves, create for ourselves.
That's right.
And so no longer are we going to be accepting the fact that we need to be builders, not consumers. And so we're here to making sure that we get our just due. When the budget is good, oh, the money be flowing. And other communities begin to reap the benefits of those funds. But for some reason, we don't see it in our communities. So we are going to make sure that we have the ability to create our own agency, our own power. And it starts by building stuff. We need to turn our programs into organizations and our organizations into institutions. And for too long, we have been accepting the fact that we have some good programs. We have some good pet projects. But when we leave, those projects leave. Our true measures of success must be how long do they live without us. If they don't live for 50 to 100 years, we did not do our job. And we need to make sure that we stop allowing people to dictate our own agenda, to tell us who is an acceptable Negro or not. But all of our people are acceptable. All of our people are welcome. And if you come for one of us, you're going to come for all of us. So now we continue to have members of the legislature representing the African American community, and now a growing number coming from untraditional black communities, such as the Inland Empire, such as Northern California, such as San Diego County. And we are here to express our liberation, to say that we are going to make sure that while we are at the table, that we bend the structures of this state towards justice for our people. That's why I introduced ACA 7 to continue to weaken the racist policies of Prop 209 so that we can use state funds to make sure that we uplift our own people. Not just to survive, but to be able to thrive. That's why I introduced AB 742 to finally curb the uses of police canines. In other words, we are going to put a leash on the police to making sure that they don't discriminately use police canines against our people just because it is a convenient thing to do. And that's why I introduced AB 1078 to stop the ban on the banning of books. Understanding that banning CRT is just yet another dog whistle. A dog whistle that says that we are going to erase the true history of this state and in this country. That we are going to erase the history of black people, LGBTQ people, and anything that these white supremacists don't like. So we have got to make sure that we stand together. And when we stand together, we got to sacrifice together. Which means that, yes, we are going to have to take some lumps and bruises together. But for too long, we say to each other that we have each other's back. But then when we look back, oh boy, ain't nobody there. But I have my people's back. And I will make sure that we do whatever it takes to make these things happen. Give us our $100 million. And yes, although I might serve one term by doing this, I'm going to use every day possible to making sure that they put some respect on it. So we're going to say no to oppression, no to exclusion, and no to be forgotten. And say yes to thriving. Yes to liberation. and yes to self-determination. It is my pleasure to stand with you, to fight with you, and let the fight begin. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. As my pastor, Reverend Casey, has been known to say, we're not going to be long, but we're going to be strong. Good morning. My name is Casey Patterson, and I'm the founder and chief architect of the Black Equity Collective. We are a network of 54 Black-led and empowering organizations and 31 philanthropic institutions joined together for the long-term sustainability of Black-led organizations. We are here today because we believe in the long-term sustainability of Black-led organizations, and we are compelled by the lived experiences of Black nonprofit leaders across the state who have shared how their organizations were on the brink of closing down before the collective provided a lifeline to them. Or how their organizations took on public contracts at their own peril because of delayed payments that resulted in cash flow problems. Or how they've needed to become more than their mission to meet the enormity of community needs brought on by COVID, but that are rooted in a deeper set of inequities. We join our partners today, the California Black Freedom Fund, the California Black Power Network, Live Free California, and the Black Equity Initiative Inland Empire, because we are building a powerful movement together. One that develops individual power, organizational power, and collective power across issues and across differences. We represent the diverse diaspora of Black organizations across the state, and we have served as a strategic and necessary disruption to the status quo of structural underfunding of Black-led organizations. When Black-led organizations were cut out of PPP and left out of philanthropic COVID response dollars, it was the Black Equity Collective that raised money in 2020 to stabilize over 30 nonprofits, Black-led nonprofits across Los Angeles and the Inland Empire. When Black-led organizations have an average revenue that is 24% less than that of white-led organizations and unrestricted assets that are 76% smaller, we are not dealing with one or two unlucky organizations that don't have the right connections. We are dealing with a system that is baked in structural neglect. These are not irresponsible stewards of public resources. These are organizations that have been underfunded from the start. And we all know the narrative. We've all heard the narrative. The one that says that grassroots organizations don't have the capacity to handle dollars. We know what we have the capacity to do. We've been showing up for our communities when no one else would. We've been making a dollar stretch for decades. We've been holding each other up and caring for the least among us, and the fact of the matter is California needs us. We are our community's first responders. When we can go from disposable one day to essential workers the next, we know that this state knows how much they need us. And we are here today to say, fund us like you know you need us. This budget ask is a down payment toward the state investing in who it says it wants to be. The golden state where everybody belongs. $100 million is a drop in the bucket for the world's fourth largest economy. This is what we at the Black Equity Collective call a public-private community partnership. The community has been doing its part. Philanthropy started to come around in 2020 after the public lynching of George Floyd, and now it's time for the state to get on board. The California Black Freedom Fund has already raised over $63 million from private and corporate philanthropy. The Black Equity Collective has raised over $15 million. The California Black Power Network has raised over $7.2 million. Live Free has raised over $10 million. The Black Equity Initiative Inland Empire has raised over $5 million. California, pull up. We're here today looking for you. We're here, California. Where you at? Are you here? We know what $100 million will mean to the state, because when Black people do well, we lift all boats. We believe that when Black folks thrive, all people thrive. This $100 million is about more than just money. It's about money with a message. It's a recognition of the significance of Black-led organizations to California's civic ecosystem, that we contribute to the local and state economy because we are employers who hire a workforce that is traditionally underserved. And it signals that we want California to be a place of Black possibilities, because we are investing in the organizations that serve Black communities and that confront the most egregious forms of structural and systemic racism by giving Black folks hope, dignity, and demanding that the systems we pay into with our tax dollars don't oppress us. It signals that California recognizes the threat of Black erasure and its intention to do what no other state has done, and indeed what this country has never done, which is to loudly proclaim that Black folks are here to stay, that our contributions are needed, that our culture is celebrated, that our bodies are protected, our voices are welcome, because Black permanency is the only way forward. Let's go get our money, y'all.